This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Hey, before I get started, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I am on a concerted push by the end of the year to get to 500,000 subscribers, and it's only with your help, kind sir or madam, that I'm going to be able to get there. Listen, about a week ago, CNN reported that there was a recording of Donald Trump indicating to people who didn't have access that not only did he have classified materials, this was, I think, July or August of 2021, but that they were in his possession. He was referencing them. And he also said in the tape that, yeah, when I was president, I could have declassified this, but now that I'm not, I can't. And now we're learning that CNN has obtained an actual transcript of that call with some of the details that I just mentioned. It is a doozy. They've written an article. I'll post it below, the headline of which is Exclusive. Donald Trump admits on tape he didn't declassify, quote unquote, secret information. Now, Paula Reed is a CNN reporter, an intrepid, great reporter. And her team are the ones who have uncovered this. I'm going to let her briefly explain and read some of the quotes that they've uncovered from this transcript. Watch this.
The former president not only claims to have retained classified information, but also acknowledges the limits of his power to do so. And now we have the transcript of the relevant portion, and I'm going to read some parts of that, but it's clear he acknowledges or claims that he kept secret information. Now, in this recording, this was back in July 2021, he is speaking to some visitors at his New Jersey golf club. We know from our sources that among the people in the room were at least two people working on Mark Meadows' autobiography, as well as some Trump aides. He is referring here to General Mark Milley. He says, quote, "Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't that amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up." On the tape, we're told that you can hear him rustling the papers at this point. "Look, this was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him." I'll keep reading, but you can tell at least 4 times, he emphasizes that this was Milley. He goes on to say all sorts of stuff, pages long. "Look, wait a minute. Let's see here. I just found, isn't this amazing? This totally wins my case." And I want to note here, his case he's referring to here is this dispute with Milley, not the current pending criminal investigation. "Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this." I will note that secret and confidential are both, of course, levels of classification. And then arguably the most damning quote, he says, he asks someone in the room if he can declassify it. And then he says, "As president, I could have declassified, but now I can't." And of course, that last quote undercutting all of the public arguments that he, his allies, and his attorneys have made about how he was able to declassify things once he left office, or that he may have even had a standing declassification order to declassify any materials in his possession before he left office.
Which is interesting, and she just mentioned it about being in direct contravention. It is contradictory to some of the statements he's made publicly in town halls, in interviews. Let me remind you of this.
Do you still have any classified documents in your possession?
Are you ready?
Do you?
No, I don't have anything. I have no classified documents. And by the way, they become automatically declassified when I took them. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it. When you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything.
Yeah. And it's not just that, though. Remember during the campaign when he made it a feature to juxtapose himself, to separate himself from the dastardly Hillary Clinton, that is my administration, we're going to clamp down on the mishandling of classified information. No one is above the law, he said. Remember this.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
And it wasn't the only time. That's not just some isolated clip. The Washington Post put together about a minute of audio or a minute of video here for you. This was a mantra for Donald Trump. This was over and over and over again that he said this, maligning other individuals, namely Hillary Clinton, for their mishandling. That he was going to put an end to this. I'm the law and order guy. I'm going to get this done right. Watch what the Washington Post put together from 2015, 2016.
This was not just extreme carelessness with classified material, which is still totally disqualifying. This is calculated, deliberate, premeditated misconduct, followed by a cover-up that included false statements and lies to Congress, the media, and the American people. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. We also need the best protection of classified information. That is the worst situation. Hillary's private email scandal, which put our classified information in the reach of our enemies, disqualifies her from the presidency. Service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country. Hillary thought nothing of putting classified information on her illegal server, which our enemies now have hacked.
And now he finds himself under federal indictment. Now look, this is but one arm of the federal investigation that's being handled by Jack Smith. The other is election interference, the attempt to overthrow the United States government by way of overturning a free and fair election, which culminated on January 6th, the day that the vote was supposed to be certified, that he incited a mob to attack the United States Capitol in a violent insurrection. So, if you think this is bad, if you're pleased, as I am, that finally we do have an indictment, just wait. Because if this is the kind of depth of information that they're gathering from people, because keep in mind, I didn't talk about this yesterday, but Steve Bannon has been subpoenaed by a federal grand jury. It's not Congress. It's a federal grand jury. It's a whole different animal. Mark Meadows also has testified and reportedly has flipped. Reportedly, Mark Meadows has now given prosecutors for a limited immunity deal information. I believe, I have no evidence of this, but it just seems right, that this is probably where they got the audio of Donald Trump talking about these documents. Because it was his autobiography writers, it's an autobiography, a self-written biography, but he's having someone else do it, talented people they are. It was his people in the room recording the conversation. So it's very likely from Mark Meadows that this information was received by the feds. And if he's giving this depth of information about this documents case, imagine what he's spilling the beans about related to the election interference in an effort to extricate himself from lengthy federal prison sentences. He doesn't want to be Donald Trump's prison cellmate. Big things, huge things are taking place. And I'd love to know what you think. Good day. Good Friday. You can call. Leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'd love to see you there. And again, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it's only with your help that I'm going to be able to do that. If you want to support my work other than subscribing, which is free, you can click the join button. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month. You can click the super thanks button. You can buy some merch. You can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I'm going to relax this weekend. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.